Okay, let's do some more practice. So on your whiteboard or a piece of paper, let's use the problem, sorry, 6.72, just like the number we used above. This time let's divide it by 4. 6.72 divided by 4. And I want us to show this both ways. So let's write down our number again. And then make our place value chart. So I'm drawing lines in between each of those numbers. So my 6 gets its own column, my 7, and my 2. All right, now we need to make 4 groups. We'll leave a little bit of space for each. 1, 2, 3, and here is 4. Okay, so I want you to try and solve first. So if you need to pause to get caught up on this, also let's add 6.72 divided by 4. I'm writing in long division. And just a reminder, we use dad, mom, sister, brother, and brother. Okay, so we're gonna walk through step by step where I want you to try solving first, and then we'll check. So again, thinking of money, $6.72. We have to split this evenly among 4 kids. So first, I want you to divide out your $6. Okay, you have to pause the video if you need more time. Check your work. Ready? $6, I would have $1 to you, $1 to you, $1 to you, 1 to you. That's only 4. 5, 6. All right, so now I want you to think, is it even? No, it's not. So what do? We're going to take away these $2 and exchange them for dimes. How many dimes do I get for $2? 2 dimes. That means I have 27 dimes now. All right, pause the video and I want you to divide out your dimes evenly among the 4 kids. Okay, are you ready to check? Here's what I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. All right, so now I have to think, is it even? Was it evenly distributed? No. This one only has 6. This one has 7, 7, and 7. So let's take away those 3 dimes and exchange them for pennies. How many pennies are we going to get? That gives me 30 pennies, which means I now have 32 pennies. All right, pause the video, divide out your pennies. Okay, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Is it even? It is. 8, 8, 8, 8. Everybody gets 8 pennies. All right, that means we're done. There's no other column. How did you do? So according to this, how much is each child getting? Take a second and write out your decimal. How much is each child getting? Okay, pause if you need more time. So I'm just going to look at one of those rows. It doesn't matter which row because they're all the same. We made sure it was fair. So I'm going to look at child 4. They get 1. Then we have our decimal. Then they add 6. And then we add 8. So $6.72, divide them up by 4. should be 1 and 68/100. Let's check and see if we get the same thing using long division. All right, so the first part was we divided out those 6 pennies. So 4 goes into 6 how many times? How many pennies did each get? 1. That makes sense. Multiply. You just wrote down the 1, so it's going to be 1 times the 4. And I write that underneath. I used 4 pennies. Subtract. What would that be? 6 minus 4 is 2. And that makes sense because I had 2 pennies left over. Bring down. How does that look on our long division? We take the next number and we bring it down. That's where we got the 27. Repeat. So divide again. 27 pennies divided by 4 people. How many times can 4 go into 27? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. Oh, 6 times. And that makes sense because each person got 6 pennies. Multiply. What does that step look like? I just wrote down my 6. I'm going to multiply it by my 4. 6 times 4 is 24. That is how many pennies we distributed. Subtract. 27 minus 24 is 3, which makes sense because that's how many pennies I had left. Bring down. We bring down the 2. Now I have 32, pennies. The other ones were dimes. Now I have 32 dimes to work with. What's 32 divided by 4? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. So I have 8. And let's multiply. 8 times 4 is 32. Subtract. Bring down. Wait a second, there's no other numbers, so we don't have anything to bring down. That's how we know we're done. The only thing I have to add is, looking at my number, I have 1 digit on top of each number. The other thing I need to add is a decimal. Did we get the same thing? We did. Awesome. All right, how did that go? Let's do one more. I want us to start with the long division. These are 2 different ways to do it. Neither is wrong. This one can get more efficient when you get better at it. This one, it's a lot of dots to draw sometimes, especially when we're getting up to big numbers. And sometimes the more groups you have, so this was only divided by 4. Imagine if it was divided by 9 or even more. What if it was divided by 11? So we want to try and keep working on this so we get better at it over time. But this is also a great way to see, why does this work? So let's do another problem. Let's solve 20.08 divided by 8. This is one of those ones. It would be nice if I could do this well, because making 8 groups is going to be a lot. And here's my little hint. Dad, mom, sister, brother, row over. I always write it next to it so I don't forget the steps. All right, let's start. So dividing, I'm looking 1 digit at a time. 2 divided by 8. How many times does 8 go into 2? doesn't, here's my trick. If it doesn't, add a 0 on top because you want to make sure that your decimal is in the correct place. And if I don't add a 0 here, I might accidentally write my next number there instead. Okay, so because it was 0, let's keep going. I'm going to go one more digit. So now I have 20 divided by 8. Think of it like $20 if I was splitting it among 8 people. 20 divided by 8. So if it helps, here's another trick. Along the side, if you know how to do your skip counting, you could list them off here. So like 8 times 1 would be 8. 8 times 2, 16. 8 times 3, 24. Or you could just write down the answers. 8, 16, 24. So 20 divided by 8 would be 16. 2 times. Our multiplication, that 2 times 8 is 16. Let's subtract. 20 minus 16. That is 4. Bring down. That 4 becomes a 40. Can you imagine having to draw out 40 dots right now? That'd be a lot. Repeat. So I have to divide again. 40 divided by 8. So 3 times would only be 24. What would it be if I have 8 more? That would be 32. What if I had 8 more? Can I get closer to 40? It is right on. 40. So 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. That would be if it was times 5. So it goes into it 5 times, multiply. 5 times 8, we just said was 40. Subtract. That would be 0. Bring down. Repeat. Divide again. 8 divided by 8, or how many times can 8 go into 8? 1 time. Multiply. 1 times 8 is 8. Subtract. That would be 0. And bring down. Nothing left to bring down. I know I'm done. So $20.08 divided among 8 people would be $2.51. Again, this is why it's important that I write that 0 here, because if I accidentally wrote my 2 here, let's pretend up above, my decimal would stay here. My 2 would go here. I'd maybe write my 5 here, and then my 1 here. That would be in the wrong place. So write your decimal and then add a 0 if it doesn't divide into it. All right, I think that this is the most challenging part, but let's do one more where you solve both ways. Okay, so I'll help you get the problem set up. Let's do 6.372 divided by 6. So I'm going to do it the 2 ways. So I'm going to do my 6.372 divided by 6. And don't forget your dad, mom, sister, brother, Rover. And then let's set up our place value chart. So I'm going to write my number, 372. And then I'm going to draw a line in between each of these numbers. And then a line underneath. How many groups do we need to have down below? 6. We're dividing into 6 groups. I need 6 spaces. So here'll be group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5. Oh, I didn't make this long enough. Group 6. There we go. Draw this carefully so that way when you're actually solving, you don't get confused with your dots, your lines. You want to make good dots, things like that. Okay, I am going to stop the video here. I want you to try to solve. And then when you're ready to check your work, come on back to the next slide. Good job, everyone.